As the Mandalorian Season 2 finale is fast approaching, a major question that lingers is, will Baby Yoda become a Jedi? Now it is possible that Luke, or Cal Kestis, or a long list of Jedi who are still alive could theoretically train him. But this raises questions as to where is Baby Yoda in the sequel trilogy? Was he there at the destruction of Luke's Jedi Academy? And so far, there's been no mention of what happens to him in the comics either. There is approximately 25 years in between the events of The Mandalorian and The Force Awakens, and so almost anything could happen to Baby Yoda. Plenty of other YouTubers have covered speculation on who trains Baby Yoda, so if you are interested in that, please feel free to check them out. However, if you stick around, you'll find that while the lore leaves open plenty of possibilities, these are not necessarily indicative of much once you take the narrative and character development into account. The entire show has been leading up to a pinnacle moment. Will Baby Yoda leave the Mandalorian to pursue Jedi training? I believe that when that moment comes, I don't think Grogu will go. From a narrative standpoint, there's more character continuation and development if Grogu decides to stay with Mando. At this point, Mando is an essential part of Grogu, as Grogu is to him. Grogu's Force abilities are intricately linked with Mando, and he seems more willing to be open about them around him. It is pretty evident that the two of them are inseparable. And I don't think a lot of people have picked up on this, but Grogu is effectively a Mandalorian. He's a foundling, just like Mando himself. Someone who is adopted into the Mandalorian creed, which is a clear connection with the theme of Mandalorian identity throughout the entire show. You might say, well, Grogu hasn't sworn the Mandalorian creed, and so he is not yet a Mandalorian, which is true. But while Grogu hasn't sworn the creed necessarily, although I think it would be really cute if we got to see it, it doesn't necessarily outrule the fact that he would become one. The arrival of Boba Fett further confirms this exploration of Mandalorian identity. When Mando and Boba first meet, he asks if Boba has sworn the creed, which isn't directly answered, but Mando nonetheless acknowledges Boba as a Mandalorian based on his lineage to Jango Fett, his father. And so I think the show will embark on a deeper exploration of Mandalorian identity moving forward, through the eyes of Mando and Grogu. As the plot progresses, the story seems to be indicating that we will at some point return to Mandalore. Mandalore has been repeatedly mentioned throughout Season 2, and with the appearance of Bo-Katan, it seems more than likely this will happen. Bo-Katan's appearance confirms that there are Mandalorians who are still fighting to reclaim Mandalore in some shape or form, so it would not be far-fetched to see us return there. At this point, we're not entirely certain of what is happening in Mandalore, but everything seems to be indicating that something is or has happened there that will be explored further as the show goes on. Who knows, maybe we'll see Mando and Grogu take part in the liberation of Mandalore. If the show decides to continue this route, it would fit the events of the sequel trilogy, whereby Mando and Grogu are both preoccupied in this part of the galaxy. It is still possible for Grogu to be both a Mandalorian and a Jedi. We do know that there was a Mandalorian who was a Jedi, who was the original wielder of the dark saber. But I believe that Grogu won't adopt the ways of the Jedi. I think what is going to happen is that Grogu will continue to progress in the ways of the Force, but not in the traditional way a Jedi Padawan would. And we have continued to see progress throughout Season 2, where Grogu is continuously using and expanding his use of the Force. We do know that it is possible to learn the ways of the Force outside the teachings of the Jedi. The Night Sisters of Dathomir are one example, and the Children of the Stone are another. There are ways to learn about the Force outside the Jedi Order. I think that we will eventually find is that Grogu is a Mandalorian with Force abilities, adhering to the code and morals of a Mandalorian, a sort of utilitarian way of using the Force. I believe that the Jedi Order chapter of his life is over, and this next chapter of his life will very much be one with the Mandalorian way. Well, there you have it. My first ever video on YouTube on Star Wars, and I'm really excited to share it with you. I've always had a passion for Star Wars, but never really anyone to share it with, so by doing this I hope to share it with you. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you agree, or am I just plain wrong? Let's get a conversation going. If you have enjoyed my content, please like and subscribe to join the Galactic Cult. Hit the bell icon for notifications, and I'll see you in the next video. I am the Lost Acolyte, and I have spoken.